Welcome back from hiatus is me. Welcome on in, guys. It is The Scoop. Sam Napoli here with you, finally back after over 100 days of being completely missing from the internet, pretty much. Sentry baseball back, better than ever. And here with a weekly show, The Scoop, and you'll have content coming out all the time, every week, every day, essentially, from this podcast, sponsored by SeatGeek. Welcome on in, everybody. The Mets are reeling. The Astros are hot. A couple of surprise teams are kind of on the rise right now, and we're going to talk all about it. We're going to cover every MLB team in 30 seconds. We're going to look into some bets, maybe a little bit later on. It's something we're going to be going over every single week. So stay with us. It's all coming up here on The Scoop. Welcome on in, everybody. Sam here with you, finally back. I am so sorry from the bottom of my heart that I missed so much time between just finishing up some school stuff. I'm going to be moving away soon, so you're going to be seeing a lot of changes happen when it comes to my lifestyle and stuff like that. So just kind of trying to get ready for what life is bringing ahead. That's on a very personal note. None of you guys really want to hear that, but regardless, we got a full show today, and we got a couple of very exciting segments coming up. So kind of what's going to happen with this show. This is The Scoop. It's a podcast I used to do, kind of stopped it a little bit, but it is fully back now. You're going to have this show, this podcast, kind of long form, every single Sunday night. So whether it's live or whether it actually is a premiere, which may happen, it might be recorded earlier on in the day, it's going to come out right around 6:30 or 7 o'clock every single Sunday. And that's when you're going to get this podcast. Throughout the week, there's a few distinct segments we're going to be doing every single week. Videos on the Sentry Baseball channel will be coming out during the week on that. A few long form, bunch of short form stuff, and it's going to come out on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. This podcast is also going to be available on Spotify, I believe, wherever you get your podcasts. You'll also be able to listen to that if you want to just listen to it in audio form only as well. Regardless, kind of a few segments we're going to be having every single time. Sometimes I'm going to have a producer here. Patrick's going to be helping me out sometimes as well, so we might have a second guy here. We have a guest who's going to be coming on, kind of a betting insider. He's going to be coming on most of the time. Not today. He's actually away in Vegas right now, so he's not going to be on the show this time. But a few segments that's going to happen every single time. So we call it 30 and 30 is kind of one of this idea that I had. We kind of go over every MLB team in 30 seconds. Each team is going to get a little bit of spotlight at 30 seconds. So if I just show you how it's going to look like on the screen, I have every single team. I think if I press T, it starts the timer. That's not what that does. That's the tier list. So you can see here, I can flip through all of these teams. We're going to go alphabetically just to keep the order the same every single time. And the timer, if I press R, it resets every single time. So what I would have to do is I go next team, press R, and we have 30 seconds to kind of give the highlight for the Braves, the Diamondbacks, and so on and so forth. So that's one of the segments. The other one is we're going to have a tier list every single week. So if I can pull this up real quick and get this right. There we go. So we're going to have a tier list every single week. Today's is just a team's tier list because it's been a long time since I've done that. It is mid-season, too, and that video always kind of does well on the main YouTube channel. So we're going to be doing MLB teams tier list at mid-season. This is what the screen is going to be looking like for you guys when it comes to tier lists. If we ever do have, this is set up. So if we ever do have this guy on, he's kind of our betting guy. We'll have this going on, and just the normal. If we're ever just talking about some topics, which we're gonna have some, we'll dive deeper into a few teams every single week. I'd say this show is gonna be about 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. If it's a full length, there's gonna be guests who come on sometimes, so it's gonna vary a little bit as well. There's gonna be more resources available to me in the future as well, and yeah, I'm super excited to make this part of the routine when it comes to this kind of stuff. For those of you who don't know, just graduated, and I'm going to be going into studying sports broadcasting. I've got a lot of experience with it already at a very amateur level, so I kind of am ahead of the game in that case. Maybe someday you'll see me calling play-by-play. That's the dream. You guys know I used to do play-by-play for the playoff games, but I've done tons of different sports, and we're going to keep doing this, give myself some practice with just talking on a weekly basis, and hopefully keeping on growing this community that we have here. So great to be back with you guys. If anybody here is actually in the chat, not really sure, but it is going to be a fun one. I hope you guys do enjoy. So without further ado, let's go ahead, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in the chat, but let's go ahead and let's get into the first segment, which the screen's going to look a little wonky, but 30 teams in 30 seconds, and we're going to get the timer ready. The timer starts right now, and we start off with the Arizona Diamondbacks. They come in, they have a record of 41-41, 5-5 in their last 10. They're playing the Marlins right now. It is Sunday at 6:30, so that game just wrapped up. I saw Ketel Marte had a big-time home run to end that one. Corbin Carroll goes on the IL recently. This team is kind of reeling, very hurt. I would expect him to probably end up going on and selling at the deadline because they have a lot of pieces like Zach Gallen, Eugenio Suarez, who could be very valuable for some teams. Let's go and move on to the Atlanta Braves. They just got 2 of 3 taken from them by the Philadelphia Phillies, and they split 4 with the Mets earlier on in this week. It's a team that kind of is very top-heavy. Matt Olson having a nice year. Ronald Acuna, ever since he's come back, proved me wrong. He's been a lot better than I thought he was going to be. Everyone else kind of struggling. Murphy's kind of okay, but, I mean, when you have guys like Eli White playing center field every day and Michael Harris is just not doing so great, and Chris Sale is hurt now, it's just not going to work out too well for you. Let's move on. The Baltimore Orioles, one of baseball's most disappointing teams this year. They're 36-47. They're dead last in the American League East. 5-5 in their last 10. What's his name? Trevor Rogers. I almost said Taylor Rogers. He came back. He had 8 shutty the other day. Like, he actually looks pretty good, which is good because the other pieces of that trade was making it look very lopsided. Connor Norby, Kyle Stowers balling out for the Marlins. We'll get to them later, but very disappointing team. I wonder who they're going to trade. Probably Mullins, no Hearn. Let's move on. The Red Sox. I mean, what happened to this team? 41-44. Ever since they traded away Rafael Devers, they have been horrible without him. I would expect him to move Jarren Duran because he's kind of the most expendable piece right now. You already are putting all this faith in your prospects. Why not keep putting the faith in them like Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell, who's down in the minors right now, and just kind of double down on that. Garrett Crochet having a nice year. Brian Bayo's been bouncing back, but not much else going on for them. Let's move on. It's the Chicago Cubs come in. They are one of the best teams in baseball this year, 49-35. They get a 1.5 game lead, which has been dwindling down more and more and more. In a good series right now with the Astros, probably just wrapping up right about now. Kyle Tucker balling out for them. Seiya Suzuki already has surpassed his career mark in home runs, and it's only June 29th now. This team's balling. Their pitching is doing really well. Matt Boyd having an incredible year for them as well. Look for them to add a starter at the deadline. Let's move on. Chicago White Sox, there's not a ton to say about this team. I think Benintendi could be movable because he's hitting right about league average, and I think a team could probably just use that as a platoon. I mean, a lefty bat who's kind of experienced too. That we don't really realize this. He's been in the league almost a decade. There's one guy on their team had a really cool slide today. I can't remember who that actually was, but avoided a tag. Go check it out. It's on Twitter. It's wherever. But that's not much more to say about the White Sox. The Reds have kind of been on the up and up. They're 44-40, but they find themselves 4th in their division because that NL Central is just too good this year. 5 games out of the division. Ellie playing really well. He actually did not get chosen for the All-Star game. Mookie Betts somehow beat him out, and he's not having a very good year as Mookie Betts, but that's besides the point. Austin Hayes balling out for this team right now. They're 5-5 in their last 10, staying afloat. They had the go-ahead earlier against the Padres who they're playing right now. So let's move on. The Guardians, they just got swept, dude. They just got swept by the Cardinals, actually. Kind of what their calling card was, not really ever getting swept and just kind of staying in series. I kind of expected this to happen to this team. They're 40-42. They're 11 games out of the division. That AL Central, not looking so great right now and just in general. And they're kind of part of that. They kind of trade away a couple of big key pieces. Just not working out super well right now. Not a lot of starting pitching depth when it comes to this team. Jose Ramirez is their superstar. Let's go to the Rockies. Not a ton to say about this team either. They just got the belt from the Dodgers earlier on this week. This team is just not good. I don't really know what else to say about them except for that. They are one of the worst teams I've ever seen. I thought the White Sox last year were the worst. This team might be worse. Don't even need to take 30 seconds on them. The Tigers, maybe baseball's best team. Right now they have tied for the best record. They're 52-32. Tied with the Dodgers. They've been atop everyone all year. I think they could, if Alex Bregman gets moved, I think Bregman could be a guy who goes to Detroit. Third base is kind of their only real hole right now. Javi Baez, we know he's balling out for them right now. Tarek Skubal is just on another planet. And, I mean, this team, after making the playoffs in that late push last year, they just haven't stopped. AJ Hinch deserves a lot of credit. They are 7-3 in their last 10. Let's move on to the Astros. Baseball is one of baseball's hottest teams over the last month. They find themselves among the league leaders in wins. They are 50-34 right now. 7-3 in their last 10. They just swept the Phillies earlier on this week. They're playing the Cubs right now. That series is yet to go final, actually. And their pitching is just locked down right now. Isaac Paredes is balling out for them. They're missing Kyle Tucker. I think that would probably take that back if they had the chance, but they're playing really well right now. The Royals are one of baseball's most disappointing teams too, 39-44. Jack Caglione, he is struggling big time. But, I mean, he's so young, you kind of can expect it out of him. I don't think he's going to be like this forever, but offense is struggling. And Chris Bubich, he doesn't have a ton of control left. I think they could realistically look to move him. Lugo, if they're not back in this thing, they definitely need to look to do that because those are two guys who are coming up on contract years. They can make a lot of money, and they could get you a lot back. They need hitters badly. Michael Garcia playing really well for them. The Angels, this team is hot, dude. They're 6-4 in their last 10, but they're right back up to 500. Mike Trout hasn't even been playing superstar level, and he's been hurt on and off. Prayers up for Ron Washington. He's going to be out the rest of the year on medical leave. I actually don't know who's taking over them. I'll get that to you guys in just a little bit, but this team playing really well. They're young, they're fun, they're scrappy. That young lineup is finally starting to kind of round into form and be something that we thought that they probably could be. And Mike Trout's kind of at the center of that. He's kind of their old guy on the team, if you will. Let's move on. The Dodgers, they just casually found themselves back into their best record in baseball. Some of their guys aren't even playing that well right now. Max Muncy is on a different planet, though. His month of June is silly. Freddie just got out of his, one slump he's ever had, I feel like. Mookie Betts not even playing that well right now for them, but Shohei getting back on the mound now as well. There's just so many names to talk about when it comes to this team. I don't even know what they get added at the deadline. It's maybe a center fielder or something like that, but that's about it. Health, that's what they need. Let's move on. The Marlins have sneaky been playing a lot better baseball recently. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're only 9 games below 500, 11.5 out of the division. They find themselves in fourth, better than the Nationals right now at 36-45. Kyle Stowers, dude, he is balling right now. He has control left, but he's a very movable piece. I don't know if he really fits their window right now. They could definitely capitalize on high value like that and try to trade him away. I don't know. You kind of just got to pick and choose when it comes to that one, but Marlins are playing a lot better right now, as are the Brewers. They have been better recently. Jacob Mizorowski has been one of the talking points of baseball right now. 8-2 in their last 10 is this team. I was thinking, let's go ahead. I'm a Phillies fan. I wanted my Phillies to get Rhys Hoskins back. There's no way this team trades Rhys Hoskins. They are right in the thick of things. Only a game and a half out of the Cubs right now. 47-36. Their pitching is doing it. As I said, Mizorowski, one of the talks of the town. Christian Yelich having a really nice year for them as well. They could use a bat if they're going to be going there at the deadline. The Twins are the next team, just another one of these teams that never really adds for some reason over the last few years, and it's kind of coming back to bite them. Byron Buxton balling out. I think they should look to move on from him. He's getting a little bit older now. He's having one of his best years. They could capitalize on that. They're 3 games below 500. They're not horribly out of the wild card race, to be honest. A good couple of weeks, and they're kind of right back in the thick of things, but they aren't really showing any life of that or any possibility of that happening. Let's move on. The Mets, they have been iced cold. They just got swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates, which is kind of ridiculous. But they're only a game and a half out of the Phillies still. They're 48-37. They've been one of the best baseball teams all year. It's just their pitching magic is starting to kind of die out. Griffin Canning got hurt too. He tore his Achilles the other day. You got Senga, who's just coming back now. They need a starter or two, to be honest, because their depth is looking pretty weak right now when it comes to that. Juan Soto playing really well in June, though. The Yankees, they just took a series from the Athletics. They're atop their division by a game and a half over the Rays, who've been hot. We'll get to them soon. Aaron Judge just surpassed 30 homers. He's maybe the best player in the game. We say it all the time. Some guys having pretty nice years for them. I think Volpe might need to be replaced. We'll see. Jazz is playing really well for them, though. But they need to look for third base, second base type of bat when it comes to that, and maybe a lower end starting pitcher because, dude, Max Fried is a dog for them this year too. My Phillies, they just took 2 out of 3 from the Braves, but earlier on this week they got swept out by the Astros. Offense has been a problem for them outside of Friday night when they scored 13. Trey Turner having a really underrated year for them, a 300 batting average, over 800 OPS right now, which is what you want to see out of a shortstop. He's among the leaders in shortstop in pretty much every category. Over 20 bags. Bryce Harper is coming back soon. This starting rotation is silly good. They just need to look for a left fielder that can hit for them who's right-handed. That would be ideal. Maybe Austin Hayes again. We will see. The Pirates, we just talked about them. They just swept the Mets, actually. And O'Neal Cruz was right in the middle of that. He is on pace for well over 200 strikeouts. I believe his strikeout rate is right about 33%, which that's a big yikes. And he doesn't play good defense in center field. They got to figure out something when it comes to that. But they are definitely going to be looking to trade away some guys. I think Mitch Keller might go. It's going to be maybe Tommy Pham. He's just not playing super well. IKF is one you got to capitalize on, though. Let's move on. The A's, ever since the hot start, have really been dwindling recently. They're back in last in their division. Pitching is the big reason why. They got a lot of young hitting talent. Soderstrom, Langoliers, Nick Kurtz is really playing well for them as well. Brent Rooker's obviously kind of their veteran now, if you will. They got a lot of young hitting. They're fun. They're super fun, but got to figure out the pitching. Severino, weird. He's not pitching well at home. They got to move on from him. Let's move on from the A's to the Padres. They're second in the division right now in the West. They're 45-38, 6.5 out of the Dodgers. That gap has really kind of grown in the last few days, to be honest. It's a team that we know is going to be there. They've got a lot of talent. I think they may need to add another starter. They got a lot of really nice back-end bullpen pieces that they went and spent money on, but the offense is kind of humming right now. As an overall unit on the season, I don't know how much you could really add to that, but they need to go out and get a pitcher for sure. Let's move on. The Giants, they got swept out earlier this week by the Marlins, actually. Third in the division, though. They're still 7 above 500, right in the thick of the playoff race. They're actually tied with the Padres, right now. Matt Chapman, too streaky, to be honest, when it comes to that. They add Rafael Devers now. I actually haven't checked his numbers. We'll check on those in a little bit ever since he has joined the Giants. But we know this team's going to be right in the thick of it. They need to go out and add a starter, though, because they traded away 2 of them when it came to getting Devers. So let's move on. The Mariners, this team, ever since getting off to a hot start and getting that lead in the division, they have since blown it completely. They're 7 out of their own division in the AL West. They're right around a wild card spot. They're only a game better than the Angels, though, and they're only a game and a half better than the Rangers. So this team's got to figure something out quick. That offense has really, really died out ever since a hot start. Cal Raleigh should be AL MVP, probably second right now, but he should definitely be in the discussion. He might break the home run record. Let's move on. The Cardinals have been one of the fun surprises of this year. I'm actually really happy about that because I like a lot of the players on their team. Sonny Gray just went complete game shutout. I believe that was last night. They go ahead. They sweep the Guardians overall. Their offense is playing a lot better than we kind of thought they were. Brendan Donovan, kind of a dog for them. Nolan Arenado, kind of their older leader. They're doing this all without Paul Goldschmidt. If they're going to add at the deadline, it needs to be a starting pitcher or 2. And probably some kind of, I don't even know where they would add a bat, but maybe a DH type. We'll see. The Rays have been one of the best teams in baseball over the last month and a half. They find themselves only a game and a half out of the AL East. Pretty miraculous if you ask me. Junior Caminero, I mean, that guy really has arrived. He has been absolutely fantastic. Don't really need to talk about this a ton. The Wander Franco situation, he's going to prison. That's all I'll say about that one, but Caminero, really, as I talked about. Brandon Lau, he honestly feels expendable if you ask me. I think they could definitely trade him for a starter if they want. They're starting pitching. There's some stats out there. They've been extremely healthy this year. Good for the Rays. Let's move on. We're getting towards these last ones here. These are the Rangers. Their offense just doesn't really know how to figure it out. I mean, they're right at 500. Their starting pitching is silly good this year. Tyler Mahle, I almost said Corbin Burns. Patrick Corbin, Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi. These guys are having ridiculous years this year. Offense cannot figure it out for them. Corey Seager is really starting to go this past week or so as well. Marcus Semien had a walk-off. Hopefully that gets him going, but the last couple years just hasn't been great. Rangers got to figure out with the bats, or they need to go ahead and sell on these old guys at the deadline. The Blue Jays have been playing actually pretty fun baseball as well. They're only 3 games out of the division right now. They're 45-38, 7 games above 500. Young players are actually playing pretty well. They've just locked up Vlad for a long time, so you don't really need to go all in on this year. I honestly think they just stay pat at the deadline, and I think that they should look to just see how their young talent, if they can even get to the playoffs, and see what they can build on from there, because Vlad's locked in for the long term. Last but not least, it's the Natitude Washington Nationals. James Wood got snubbed from the All-Star game. Abrams is playing well. I think they need to look to move on from Nathaniel Lowe. This pitching staff is just absolutely atrocious. Mackenzie Gore is among the league leaders in strikeouts, and he's having a nice year, but I don't know if he's ace material, and the rest of their pitching staff is pretty putrid, and that's why they are last place in the NL East behind the Marlins, which is pretty surprising. 14.5 out, 34-49, and guys, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, that is 30 teams in 30 seconds. It was a lot of talking. I've never done that before, but I hope you guys enjoyed that one, kind of getting the rundown of every team. 30 seconds each, not giving any team too much time as well. Whew! How about that one? So I'm going to pick 2 teams that we're just going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about overall. One AL, one NL. We're just going to talk about. Let's talk about the Astros. They are red hot. They just swept the Phillies earlier this week. Let's go ahead and take a look at how their Cubs series went. They take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs. It's a very good week. 5-1 on the week against 2 really good National League teams. Maybe two of the 3 best National League teams. Astros playing really well. They allowed 12 runs yesterday night, but other than that, this whole entire week, they allowed 7 runs. 7 runs in 5 games outside of yesterday. Their pitching is really starting to do it. They come up with new names all the time. Josh Hader's been locked down at the back end. Isaac Paredes. As much as that Kyle Tucker trade kind of stung, Isaac Paredes has been playing really well for them. Cam Smith starting to figure it out. They're kind of hitting him like 5th. Like he's right in the middle of their lineup. I think they should go and try to make a move at Bo Bichette if the Blue Jays end up wanting to go ahead and sell a little bit softly and allow Altuve to keep playing left field, keep him fresher on his legs. His numbers are fine. I mean, he's older, so I mean you can kind of expect that out of him. But overall, Astros playing a little bit better baseball, and you got to give them credit. They're older, but they're really getting it done, especially on the pitching side. The other team we'll talk about, let's go ahead and talk about the Mets, because what is going on with them? They had a players-only meeting either today or yesterday. I saw that pop up on Twitter. They're only a game and a half out of the East. And if we take a look, 48 wins, 47 wins, 45. Yeah, they have the first wild card spot right now for sure at 48-37. 3-7 in their last 10. They just got swept. They split a series with the Braves earlier this week. It looks like that lack of pitching is really starting to catch up to them, though. I said it coming into the year, I don't love their depth, and then they kind of had like this factory kind of thing. Just, it was working for them. They had something magical. Their pitching coach was looking like he was the best of all time, and it's falling apart, and injuries are starting to come. Like Griffin Canning with that Achilles, like that's a killer, dude. Like, you watch that happen, and you just kind of know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So, just unfortunate when it comes to that. But, yeah, the Mets are reeling. I'm a Phillies fan. So, like, if I'm saying it biasly, like, I really don't like the Mets. But when it comes to baseball, some of the best players in baseball are on that team. You want to see them in the postseason. You got to get that team there. You want to see them there again. Juan Soto, Lindor, a couple of ballers. You want to see that as well. Vientos really not playing well for them at all. So that's something they got to figure out as well. Let's move on. That's 30 teams in 30 seconds. Well, let me know what you guys think about that one. And let me look at what else we've got on tap for today. This kind of feels redundant to do because we did just talk about every single team, but we do have a tier list to do. I'm sorry I'm holding my microphone today. My stand is broken. I got to order a new one. So Let's go ahead. Let's rank every MLB team at mid-season. You can see we got, 6 tiers: the elite, the great, the good, the mid, the meh, and the AAA. It's all brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code Sentry17. Grab yourself $20 off your first purchase of $50 or more. SeatGeek, best place to buy any tickets for anything. I'm looking to go to the Bills at Falcons game when I move to the South, or later on in October. Of course, I'm using SeatGeek. Woo! A lot of talking fast at one time, tell you what. 6 tiers: elite, great, good, mid, meh, and AAA. And I think what I'm going to do is, I liked doing this before, start at the bottom tier and just kind of work our way up. When it comes to AAA, there's a few teams that come to mind. The Rockies are most certainly one of them. Let me X out of this ad. Rockies most certainly one of them. We talked about how horrible they are, and I'm at a loss for words when it comes to them. Maybe they finally move on from Ryan McMahon. I think Passan heard some buzz about that finally, so that's bad. The White Sox just aren't much better. They have more individual players who are playing relatively well. Luis Robert was starting to get it going just a little bit. He's been bad for a couple years now, but again, just another team that is just at the cellar when it comes to this right now. I would say the Marlins, but I don't think that they're on the same level as these guys. Like, they have guys playing well, and as a team, they're playing a lot better than that. I think that's it when it comes to AAA. There's going to be a good bit of teams in this tier, though. This meh tier. I'm going to put the Pirates there. Honestly, that pitching that they have, the little that they have, like, keeps them above AAA. Paul Skeens, Jared Jones has been hurt a little bit, but Mitch Keller, like, they've got dudes on this team. They have real ball players. O'Neal Cruz, I know he strikes out a ton, but he has the ability to hit the ball hard at any given point. They win games. They just swept the Mets, so they actually they win in streaks, I'd say. They swept the Phillies earlier this year, too, so. But Pirates definitely a tier above those two, I would say. I think the Marlins have to go here, playing better than these two teams as a team right now. Kyle Stowers playing really well for them. Xavier Edwards, that contact king, just kind of replaced Luis Ariz, so you got that going for you. Sandy Alcantara has really put together some nice starts here. They need to look to trade him. Like, he's getting older and he's under control. You can get a lot back for him. I like that for them. I think the A's have to go in this year. It's so sad because they have so much young talent, especially on the hitting side, like we talked about. Nick Kurtz has been balling the last couple of weeks, hitting homers left and right. Tyler Soderstrom has really gone through a struggle bus here recently, but just that lineup, you look all over the field. Jacob Wilson's a superstar, which, speaking of him, I opened up baseball cards for the first time in a very long time the other day. First I'll show you this. I actually got a Roki Sasaki Gold, the 2025 rookie. It's actually pretty nice. But my other hit was Jacob Wilson rookie rainbow foil. So those were my two best. Those are actually for sale. Go to eBay. You could probably find those. I might hold on to the Jacob Wilson. We'll see. That's way besides the point. The A's definitely deserve to be in this tier. The Nationals cannot possibly be above the Marlins, but they also just have, like, they have real all-star players on this team. James Wood, CJ Abrams, like, that Juan Soto return is looking really nice for them. I think they need to look to lock up James Wood now. More than CJ Abrams, because CJ Abrams has kind of been up and down. They're still so young. But I would lock up James Wood to like a 12-year deal right now. Like this offseason, whatever. As soon as you possibly can, if you're the Nationals. As far as other teams in this tier, I think mid describes some of these teams I'm thinking of a lot better. Like the Orioles. I know they're well below 500, but there's a lot of talent on that team. And I know they're going to trade guys away, but if you have Gunnar, Adley's on the IL right now, but if you have Gunnar, Adley, I mean, even like Trevor Rogers is like fine. Oh, it's so Jackson Holiday, like you have guys on this team. I don't really understand how you could be that bad, but the pitching, that's the bottom line, is their pitching is putrid, but yeah, I think mid is a better way to describe them, to be honest. Feels mean to put the Diamondbacks in the same tier as the Orioles. Yeah, we got to change something. Orioles got to go to meh, top of it, because the Diamondbacks are mid. That's just how they are. They're right at 500, as mediocre as they could possibly be. That's about all I have to say. They're very hurt, very injured all year. They have been. Corbin Carroll now with that broken wrist. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but I'd think till August at least. So it's going to be a little bit when it comes to that. Twins are right about 500. They're so disappointing. Like, I hate watching this team play, to be honest. And they need to trade away guys. They've got to fire Rocco Baldelli. I've been saying it for years, I feel like. But it just hasn't worked out with them, and they just haven't done it. Twins definitely deserve to be in that tier, though, for sure. Braves can go mid. They're well below 500, but another team, very, very disappointing. A little better than the Orioles this year, and their pitching is playing pretty well, but I mean, I look around the field. Nick Allen is playing shortstop. Eli White's playing center field. Left field is like Verdugo and who else? I mean, they've got that is not a great roster. Like, they remind me of the 2021 Phillies, but they don't have an MVP on their team. Like, Bryce Harper was on that team, MVP. This team doesn't have an MVP who's there the whole time. Like, Ronald, I guess, but he's been out for most of the year. I don't know. I think they're going to be right at 500 by the end of the year, but man, oh man, it's not good. It's not good. Red Sox have to go mid. So disappointing. They put all their eggs into that prospect basket. It's not panning out for them right now. Let's look to move on from Jarren Duran. I think he's expendable. You got a lot of outfielders. You kind of got to pick one if you're, in my mind. If you're Breslow, you got to pick, do I want to keep Wiley or Abreu, who is a lot more consistently great the last couple of years, or do I want Jarren Duran, whose upside is silly, but he's not having a great year this year, and his early career was not great either. I think you got to pick one. Willier kind of fits their team a lot better, but he low-key could probably get back a bigger return. Like, he is so versatile, and he's such a good defender. Like, man, I think you got to pick one, though, and move on from another. More in the mid-tier. Ooh. Guardians, definitely. They're right about 500, but I think they're going to finish right at it. 80, 81, 82 wins, somewhere right in there, because, it's just, I said their starting pitching depth is going to come back to haunt them at some point, but it is happening right now, and like when J-Ram is kind of your only consistency, and he's not playing like a superstar, like this is what's going to happen, and the Guardians are starting to see that a bit. Royals go mid. This AL Central is just not playing super great right now. We talked about them a little bit. Jack Caglione was not the answer when it came to their offensive struggles. Michael Garcia having a really nice year. Look to build around him. Bobby's a lot slower offensively than he was last year, which hopefully this is more regression back to the mean, because he's still having a great year. It's just not as elite as last year was, and it's going to happen from time to time. Angels can go here. It's a step up. They're going in the right direction. They've been winning a lot of baseball games recently. Ron Washington will not be managing for them the rest of the year, though, so we'll see who's interning for the rest of the year when it comes to that, so prayers up for him. But Mike Trout's kind of like their leader right now, and they've got a lot of, like, Christian Moore is like playing really well. They got a lot of young talent. They bring up those first round picks very quickly. It's starting to pan out for them. Young, fun lineup. It's very similar to the A's in that respect. I think the A's have more upper end guys, but very similar offensively, I think. Maybe look to move on from Taylor Ward. Let's see. You really got to make a decision when it comes to that. Other teams that are mid, Rangers have to go there. We talked about it. Their pitching is so gross. DeGrom, Tyler Mahle's playing so well. Patrick Corbin is playing really well for them. Nathan Eovaldi is good. You got Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker too. Like, they've got a legit rotation of starters. Bullpen could always use work, and their offense has just got to figure it out, or else they're going to start trading guys away for sure. That may do it for our mid-tier. Let's go up into one more into the good. I think the Blue Jays will be our first one. I was going to put the Rays there, but I think they're a little better. Blue Jays, with their young guys just kind of balling out right now. Vladdy's he's kind of their leader. I mean, he's locked up for a long time now, so there's not really much incentive to go out and buy at this deadline. But Bo Bichette's having a lot better of a year than he was. Alejandro Kirk kind of balling out for them from behind the plate. And their big ticket free agent, Santander, has been hurt. He hasn't been playing well, and they're still doing this. So their pitching's been pretty good this year. Gausman, Bassett. They could look to move on from either of them if they fall out of it a little bit more, or they just stay pat and see if they can actually make a playoff push, because I think that's definitely possible in a pretty weak American League. I think the Mariners go here as well. We talked about it. Their offense has slowed down quite a bit. We know their pitching is always going to be there, but when your superstar, Julio, is not playing like a superstar for the last couple of years, Cal Raleigh is a baller, and we found that out this year and last year. He's probably their superstar. It's just not going to work out. You got to have more consistent bats in that lineup. I think the Reds can go in good. They've been playing good baseball for a while now. They're right above 500. Their rotation is also pretty scary, like young, really good talent there. Rhett Lauder is there. Oh my gosh, I can't. Chase Burns is the guy who just came up. And you've got Nick Martinez, who had like a perfect game going to the 8th the other day. And that's not to mention Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo. Like, they've got a real rotation there. And you've got Ellie De La Cruz. You've got Austin Hayes, who's playing really well for them right now. And Spencer Steer hit 3 home runs the other day. Like, they've got a lot of pieces. I think bullpen's a place they need to kind of build on if at the deadline. They could still sell. The NL is loaded. They could definitely still sell, but we'll just have to wait and see when it comes to them. I think Cardinals can go good. They're pretty similar record-wise. They're just kind of scrapping their way. They're willing their way to some wins. They've been one of the more fun surprises this year. Kind of just a little scrappy, slappy hitting team. And Sonny Gray had a complete game shutout last night, so their pitching is looking pretty good as well. Could look to move on from Helsley if they fall out of it a little bit more as well. The NL is stacked, so you really got to pick and choose your spots when it comes to that. I'm going to put the Giants in good. And I'm also going to put... they have the same record, so it's very difficult. I almost feel like I've got to put the Padres in good as well. They're not that far behind, but it feels like they have not been playing as good of baseball as these other teams for like the last few weeks, I would say. And we're at mid-season now, so that's a decent portion. That's like a quarter of the year. 3 weeks is like a quarter or a fifth of the year so far. So two teams that are really going to have to look to add at the deadline. The Giants already made their big move. They went out and got Devers. They need starting pitching badly. I think both these teams could use a starter or two. The Giants could use 2, that's for sure, after trading away 2 to get Devers. So we'll see how that one ends up working out for them. I'm going to put the Brewers in here as well. It's almost like the whole NL Central in one tier, but I'm going to put the Brewers there. Playing a lot better recently, but offense kind of similar to the Cardinals, I'd say. They have Mizorowski now, who's just an absolute dog. Peralta's very good. He's got a club option that'll just pick up. It's like $8 million next year, so they've still got him under control too. So that'll be a fun one. Let's move up a tier to the great. And if I'm thinking about great, Mets go here. They've been reeling for a little bit now, but they've still been one of the best teams in baseball all year. They're only a game and a half out of the division. And yeah, I think that there's probably 5 clear elite teams. Let me count these up real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh. There may be 6 elite teams because I think the Rays going great. They've been playing maybe the best baseball out of anyone over a month and a half. They got off to a slower start. Their roster's not as complete as most of these other ones, but regardless, I mean, when your record speaks like that, they're a game and a half out of the Yankees right now. You keep going. Caminero playing really well. Brandon Lau playing really well. They've got a rotation that's just absurdly healthy. I think that they've had 5 or 6 starters all year, which is incredible. So it's good if you're the Rays for a team that hasn't been able to stay healthy for a while. I am going to put the Astros in great, the very top of it, just because it's kind of recent. They're kind of similar timeline to the Rays. They have one of the best records in baseball. I think their record now is a game better than the Phillies. But they're hot right now, right? I don't think they're one of the elite teams yet. If they do this, obviously they're almost on pace for 100 wins. If they do this for another week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, definitely elite, but they go off to a slower start, and if we're ranking them at the whole midseason, I think that's where they got to be. And then these 5 teams that go into the elite, I'm just going to put them all up there. It's the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Phillies, the Tigers, and then I'm going to put the Yankees as like that 5th team there as well. Let's start with the Dodgers. Them and the Tigers will do together, actually, because they've been the best 2 teams in baseball this year. They have the best record right now. Tigers a little more consistently the best team in baseball for pretty much the whole year. Javi Baez is balling out for them right now, and that pitching rotation's looking pretty nice. They could use someone at third base to kind of clear up that hole for them as well. The Dodgers, you don't really have a hole because you just got guys. You have extra guys in extra places that you can just fill in the gaps wherever you need to. So I don't really know how you added the deadline if you're them. The Cubs also have been one of the best teams in baseball all year. That Kyle Tucker trade really working out for them. Pete Crow Armstrong has turned into one of the best players in baseball. Power, speed, threat, really unlike any other that's in the game right now. It's pretty incredible. It's like him and Shohei, power, speed, to be honest. So, and that pitching rotation looking really good with Matthew Boyd. Yeah, and Shota Imanaga coming back as well. Phillies rotation is stacked, and we've seen that kind of happen. Ranger Suarez came back, and he's been the best pitcher in baseball since he did. And you've got Wheeler, you've got Chris Sanchez, you've got Luzardo, and you've got more guys on the way. Mick Abel came up and is giving them good starts. Andrew Painter's like the 5th best prospect in baseball. Pitching is not a problem for this team. It's consistency when it comes to their bats. They've got a left field problem. No production out of there. Really no production out of center field either. And that's where their biggest holes are. And JT Realmuto's starting to get old, so not much production from behind the plate offensively either. But that's the Phillies' dilemma. But even still, they're right at 50 wins, and they've been one of the best teams in baseball pretty much all year. One little rough stretch, but it's about it. Just above the Mets. I think that's fair. And then the Yankees, it's another team that's been one of the best in baseball all year. They've got the MVP on their team. I'd still put it to Judge. And they're starting to get a little healthier now, too. Paul Goldschmidt's had a really nice year for them as well. They also need an infielder. I think that's their biggest hole right now. Some kind of second baseman, third baseman. Maybe Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, which would be pretty funny, but that's where the Yankees' problem lies for right now. And yeah, that's going to do it for the tier list. So Dodgers, Tigers, Cubs, Phillies, and Yankees in the elite. The great is Houston, the Mets, and the Rays. The good is the Padres, Giants, Blue Jays, Mariners, Reds, Cardinals, and Brewers. The mid-tier is the Diamondbacks, Twins, Braves, Red Sox, Guardians, Royals, Angels, and Rangers. The meh is the Orioles, the Pirates, the Marlins, the Athletics, and the Nationals. And the AAA, the Rockies, and the White Sox. And that does it for the tier list there today. Man, oh man, that's a lot of talking. Excuse me. Take one more look at the script. I'm not sure we have a ton else we're going to be looking into today. No questions in the comments, so we don't have a ton. Normally, this would be the time where we'd have our betting section, which will be starting next episode. But we're already 40 minutes deep. We're pretty long into that one, so and no alt slot today. So that is going to do it for us here on The Scoop. Thank you very much for joining us today. Starting every week now, every Sunday, right around 7, 6:30 or 7, you'll either see a live stream or you will see a premiere of the episode as well. Make sure you guys are following all the socials. They'll be linked in the description. Join the Discord as well if you want to have some MLB discussion as well. Trying to build this community right back up to how we were when we were humming. It's good to be back. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for joining me. This has been The Scoop. Sam Napoli saying so long. Have a great night.